Hi, I'm Nikki.
And I'm Megan.
Welcome to the Grimdark Diaries.
We're your geek gal pals, obsessed with true crime and all things dark and disturbing.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another episode. Megan, I just got back from 2 little vacations recently.
2?
I'm wilding out on mini weekend vacations.
Get in those last summer vacations that you can.
See, that's what I do. I hoard all my vacation like a dragon all year long. And then I use it all in like July and August.
That's the way to do it.
Right? I have a really great summer, but then I'm very sad all year long because I work all the time.
Yeah, it's so true. It's almost, well, until we can actually travel somewhere warm again, it would be nice to be able to do that in the winter months because I feel like we don't get a break in the last couple of years. We haven't had a break in the wintertime.
Yeah.
You just work straight through. My very first vacation days this year weren't used until July.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure mine were used really late too. I went to a really odd store when I was on vacation.
Okay.
Yes. So myself and my 2 homegirls, we were having a ladies' afternoon and we were in Cape Breton and we found this store called the Auditorium, but it was spelled like ODD, like odd.
Oh,
not like a theater auditorium.
Nice play on words.
Right? So we expected it to be kind of odd, but oh boy, was it a little out there.
Really? How so?
We described it later when we went back to our significant others and they asked us where we were. We described it as a geology taxidermy alien store.
I'm sorry, what?
The guy that owned it, he had some kind of geology degree. So he was selling all these really pretty like crystals and rocks, and they were beautiful, and some of them were carved into like gorgeous pillars, or he had these really cool ones. There was like amethyst and rose quartz, and they were carved into anatomical hearts.
Oh my gosh.
It was so cool. And there were skulls, and then there was just like loose crystals that were gorgeous.
Yeah.
They were very beautiful. But then also he had a lot of taxidermy.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, like full on animals, and then little animals and a lot of bats and stuff like that.
Okay.
And then a weird giant alien in the middle of the store.
What? A giant alien? Like a
Yeah, it was
statue?
like a giant alien. Okay. Yeah, but it
or
was
it
like bigger than me.
Actual real alien?
I mean, it could have been taxidermy. It is the
so
auditorium.
Bizarre. That's pretty shocking. I've never heard of a store like that before. I mean, taxidermy, of course, but not like with all of the other things included.
It was just a very odd store, but we made purchases.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, they had some really beautiful crystals, and I love the look of rose quartz. I think rose quartz is very beautiful because I love pink.
Mm-hmm.
So I found a beautiful like carved pillar of rose quartz, and it has the phases of the moon etched into it.
Oh, nice.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, that sounds beautiful. There you go.
I have it on my desk to look at
every day.
Yeah, and then I just think of the geology taxidermy alien store every time I look at it.
Yeah, that is a wonderful memory that you have.
They should probably hire us for their marketing.
Yeah, that's right. I do love the name of their store, though. That's extremely
it's very clever.
Fun. Yeah, it is. Yeah. Very cool.
Yes.
So what was your other vacation? How was that?
I went to visit a few friends in New Brunswick because one of them was having a birthday. So they so graciously hosted me to stay there. And then another one of our best friends came to visit, but it's in New Brunswick, and New Brunswick is kind of on fire right now with COVID. So we just stayed at home and enjoyed each other's company, which was lovely.
Definitely for the best, for sure.
Yeah, we didn't really want to go to many places while we were there. And they live in a part of New Brunswick that is not one of the major cities. So it felt safe, and we just kind of hunkered down there for the weekend. It was lovely.
Perfect. That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that. I also went away for the weekend and went to my sister's who lives in New Brunswick, and we had a great old time. Me and my mom went down, and we went to go visit. We actually went through Fun Day Park, which I haven't done since I was probably a little girl. Probably like...
Wait, what do you call it?
Fun Day Park.
I don't know.
I know.
I say
Everybody
fundy.
says something different. I don't know. I always grew up calling it Fun Day Park, but
Fun day?
Fun Day. I don't know. Maybe because I always wanted to have a fun
Oh,
day. I
maybe.
don't
I
know.
always say fundy.
Fundy Park. I mean, that's how it's spelled. So. And then we went to Hopewell Rocks. Have you ever been there before?
No, I do not know what that
It
is.
is absolutely gorgeous area. The rocks are so Fundy. If anybody doesn't really know what Fundy Park is, in New Brunswick and Nova Scotia is a bay, which is Fundy, and
Fundy.
it has Fundy. Yeah, it has the highest tides in the world, and with Hopewell Rocks, you can go down there and you have to like go down all these stairs and you can see the rocks, which actually have a smaller base and a huge top on top of it. Like it looks like a neck and a head. Like almost all the rocks look like.
Oh, interesting.
It's very interesting. And at the top of all the rocks, you can see a little bit of soil and giant trees. Coming
Cool.
off of them. Yeah, it's very, very cool.
I didn't realize it had the highest tides in the world.
Yeah, Fundy has the highest tides in the world.
Wow, we have the record for odd things. Highest tides in the world, largest fiddle in the world.
What? The largest fiddle?
Yeah, in Cape Breton. You've never been to the giant fiddle?
No, I have not.
You've never been to the giant
Well,
fiddle?
I only went there the one time with you guys and we didn't really go anywhere.
They have the largest fiddle in the world. It's the size of
Okay.
like a building. It's just like
A
on
building?
the waterfront. Yeah. It's like the size of a
What?
building. It's huge.
I can't even imagine.
And when you stand near, you can hear fiddle music coming out of it.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's very Cape Breton.
Wow, okay. I'll add that to my bucket list then.
Yeah, we'll bring you to the giant fiddle.
Excellent. All right, sounds good. Well, I guess with that being said, we're just going to jump right into my story. Would you like to hear some true crime? Swipe right for murder?
Always. But only if you give us a palate cleanser at the end talking about your experience on dating apps like you promised you would last week.
No. I don't really. Yeah. Okay. I'll see what I can do. I'll have a little bit of a palate cleanser. All right. So dating apps. I can definitely tell you that I am not a fan. I swore I would never get a dating app in my entire life. But here we are.
We're in the age of technology. It's what
I know.
It's what everyone does now, especially with COVID. It's not like you can go out and meet people.
Exactly. It's been hard because of COVID for sure. I'm about 2 months into being on one and I've resisted it every step of the way.
Yeah, you did. We got drunk
know.
and I made you reactivate your account and I swiped on a bunch of people for you because you wouldn't.
I know, it's so true.
And when I say, okay, wait, I take that back. Megan was drunk and I wasn't drinking.
That's right. That's a very dangerous combo, I'm just going to say.
Yeah, I handed Megan some delicious strawberry kiwi vodka sodas.
Oh God, those were so good.
Yep, and then she handed me her phone. It was perfect.
Yeah, it worked out really well. And by the end of it, I think we had the entire room like rooting for some
Yeah,
guys.
everyone was voting on everybody
they
with
were.
us. It was like 20 people voting on if we swiped or not.
Yeah, it was quite fun. I think dating apps should be that fun every time. So because I resisted it, I just kind of felt like it was forced. I don't know. I always felt like it's always forced when I try to do it myself. Like it's not a natural chemistry of meeting, instantly feeling something there, meeting somebody's eyes across the room and all that stuff. That's just how I feel about it.
Yeah, instead you're scanning their selfies now.
Yeah, it kind of feels like I'm going through resumes and I'm looking for the one that suits my interests the best, I guess.
It's a very efficient way to date.
It is, yeah.
It's true. You can get to know everything up front when you look at those. If
That's
they're a
true.
smoker,
Yeah,
their
that's
age,
right.
their job, their height.
If they're going to have anything, like if they have any qualities about them that you just know you wouldn't put up with just because it's written out right then and there, you can actually skip on those people. Also because partly, who knows who you're actually talking to on the other end. So dating apps can be a little scary. And that way, as a female in this world, I have to be careful. Well, I can tell you that this story doesn't do much to quell those concerns. However,
Oh, no.
I think I did a good job picking one that doesn't really resonate with me in that way. And I think I did that on purpose. But we'll see. We'll see how we go through it. First, I'd like to introduce you to one of the main people in today's story. His name is Stefano Brizzi. He was an Italian man, actually born in Italy, a small town called San Marcello de Pistoiese, which is located in Tuscany. Have you ever seen the movie called Under the Tuscan Sun with Diane Lane?
I don't think I actually have. I know the movie that you speak of, but I
love
have not seen it.
It's so good. I fell in love with it. I actually fell in love with that movie after it came out. It was, I think, in 2003 or 4 or something like that.
I think I was too young to watch it.
Oh, that's probably true.
Yeah.
I was living my life brand new in Calgary. I had just moved out there, and it was a dream to just drop everything, move to Europe, and just become a part of their world. Anyway, I digress. Stefano was born on June 26, 1966, and had 2 older siblings. His father was a civil servant, while his mother worked with children in the healthcare industry. It's important to note that his entire family were very Catholic growing up. His uncle even became a priest. As most kids do around his age, Stefano was 15 years old when he had the realization that he was gay. Sadly, because of his family's beliefs, they would never accept him for who he was. He was extremely tormented and unable to find true peace because of this fact, which is a shame. I'm sorry, but can we just let children be happy being who they want to be?
Preach.
Right? Eventually, though, Stefano would grow up, graduate high school, and then go off to college in the big city of Florence, Italy. I loved Florence. It's one of the most beautiful cities I've ever had the pleasure of going to in my whole life.
It's on my someday travel bucket list, maybe.
Someday, I highly recommend it if you do get over there.
I got a lot of places I want to go, and I
know.
feel like travel is not going to be happening for me for quite a while.
No, and it's not what it used to be right now, I'm sure. Not until this whole thing gets figured out. But if you do, add Florence to your list, for sure. If you ever find yourself there, you must try their world-famous ice cream. Have you ever heard of Florence and their ice cream?
No, I have not.
Okay.
Are you talking about like gelato?
Well, we called it ice cream, so I don't know if it was gelato or not, but that's what we got. They are world renowned for their ice cream.
I sadly will never know that, but
oh, I guess. Well, maybe they have stuff that's
they definitely do not make their ice cream without sugar.
Oh no, that's so sad. Okay, well,
just rub it in, Megan.
Rub it in.
I can't have world famous ice cream. It's okay. I found ice cream recently that I can eat.
Yeah, that's right. See, I'm sure they'll have stuff like that over there.
Yes, if anyone is vegan and can't eat cane sugar, you can buy Coconut Bliss ice cream, and it's made with coconut milk and agave syrup, and it is freaking delicious. I just had some actually like an hour ago.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. I had chocolate peanut butter, and I have a pint of dark chocolate hazelnut in the freezer, which I'm probably going to eat tomorrow.
Yum. It sounds like they have really good flavors, at least.
They do. They had salted caramel, and there was only 1 pint left, and I picked it up, and there was a hole in it, and I was very sad.
Oh, no.
So then I'm trying the chocolate hazelnut.
Okay. All right. Well, and you had some of that earlier?
No, I have not. Only the chocolate peanut butter. I'm trying to limit myself so I don't eat a pint a day, because I haven't eaten ice cream in 4 years. So
that's fair. I mean, I think you're forgiven initially. Just don't make it a habit. So after college, Stefano got a job as a computer program at the college he attended and stayed there until he was in his 30s. It would be in his early 40s that Stefano received some devastating news. He found out that he has contracted HIV and hepatitis C, a diagnosis that Stefano would call a death sentence. However, he was able to get treatment for the illnesses and was still able to lead a pretty healthy and normal lifestyle. I can't imagine what it would do to your mental health, though.
Oh, anything like that would be extremely hard to cope with.
Agreed, yeah. Opportunity knocked in 2012 when he was offered a position to be a senior web developer for a large investment bank firm, Morgan Stanley, in their London office, making about $87,000 a year.
Fancy. Morgan Stanley is a very wealthy, very big company.
Very much
I am familiar with that company due to my line of work.
Yeah, exactly. He wasn't making nearly as much money in Florence, so he excitedly decided to take the leap and move to London. London, another place that I have visited when I was 15 years old. I tell you right now, I wish I had been older so that I could truly appreciate it in all its glory. It was March when I went, so all I can really remember was the beautiful architecture and the greenest of green parks and flowers in full bloom. Their spring starts very early there. It was honestly such a gorgeous place to visit. The bus drivers, however, those people are terrifying.
Was it the night bus?
It could have been the night bus. I don't know. But they don't care if you're in the middle of the road or not because they will run you over.
I feel like, honestly, that's most cities. It's just in Nova Scotia. Everyone's too nice and people just do what they want.
I don't know. I didn't experience that in Calgary. And I took transit all the time. But I feel like Calgary is just a much bigger version of Nova Scotia. Everybody I met there was from the East Coast. And by East Coast, I don't mean Ontario because that is not the East Coast. For people who
thinks Ontario's the
Everybody
East Coast?
I met in Calgary that was not from the East Coast.
It's not on the coast.
I know. Every time I said I was from the East Coast, they were like, "Oh, Ontario, how is that?" I'm like, "No,
that's
no.
not.
Ontario is not the
province
East
is not
Coast.
on the coast. That literally makes no sense.
I know.
We don't have very many provinces. They should know where they are.
I know. It's very true. I was very surprised how many people thought Ontario was the East Coast. I think it was because it was the biggest province that people come from, mostly. I don't know. Anyway. And when people who go out west from Ontario say they're from the East, maybe not the East Coast, but maybe just from the East, and people get it confused. I don't know. I'm justifying it for them, but... And like every other city in this world, it likely has its dark corners as well. At least Stefano was able to find his. He was in a new city and wanted to try new things. I mean, who doesn't really? So he got into drugs. Like, what else are you going to do, I suppose?
That's not the new things.
It's not, I know.
Most people try when they're in a new city.
No.
They try new restaurants and new historic landmarks and maybe new exciting hobbies like, I don't know, table tennis or...
What are they known for in London?
Painting. I don't know. I don't know what they have in London.
Yeah, I have no idea. Croquet, maybe, or polo.
Croquet?
I don't know.
What are you, going to the Queen's house?
I don't know. That's what I think of when I think of London. Croquet and...
Really?
And polo.
Are you thinking of Alice in Wonderland?
I don't know. Probably not. I was not a big fan of Alice in Wonderland.
It's pretty out there.
It's not that. It just doesn't interest me. Like, it doesn't keep my interest very much.
The book is pretty much like a drug trip.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I read it when I was a kid. I was a part of like the Disney book club. So I kept getting books in the mail like every month. I think my mom must have paid like a monthly fee and I would just get a box of 5 books every month. And Alice in Wonderland was in there. It was one of the ones. I was like, I don't really like this book. I read it once and was just like, I could do without that one. So Stefano, he tried all kinds of new different drugs like ketamine, GHB, which is gamma hydroxybutyrate, and crystal meth, to name a few.
Isn't GHB the date rape drug?
It is. But it also is a drug that people like to do because it makes you feel like you're drunk, but you don't get the after effects of being drunk. But it is extremely dangerous because like any more than a capful and you can overdose. It's just crazy. It wouldn't be long before he became addicted to crystal meth, and that would be his demise with his job at Morgan Stanley.
One of my favorite drag queens is named Crystal Method.
Crystal Method?
Yeah.
That's pretty interesting
Just
name.
a fun fact. She's pretty fabulous. She has a mullet, but it's the nicest mullet I've ever seen.
Those are coming back. I work with
She has a very beautiful mullet.
I work with someone who is actually bringing the mullet back, and it looks very good on them. So in February 2015, only 3 years after he was hired, Stefano was asked to leave the company due to his addiction and lack of performance at work. In 2016, Stefano decided to take some action against the issues he was having. Apparently there is a group called Crystal Meth Anonymous, which is much like Alcoholics Anonymous, where they share their experiences, stories, strength, and hope with each other, and look for solutions to try to combat their addictions with this serious drug addiction problem. He also decided it would be time to see a psychologist as well. Sadly, things would not go well for Stefano. These meetings and appointments did not help, and Stefano was on a clear path to destruction. He, along with the drugs he was taking, was also on a popular dating app called Grindr. According to their site, they are the world's largest social networking app for gay, bi, trans, and queer people, mainly for men. To get an idea of what Stefano was into, his profile nickname was Dom SE1, and he had a tagline as well that said, "Free now for hot, dirty, sleazy session." So he was clearly looking for a specific kind of partner to enjoy his time with.
That is quite the tagline.
Guess he doesn't really leave anything up to misinterpretation.
I mean, at least you know what you're getting up front.
Yes, exactly. Now, have you ever heard of a chemsex party?
No.
No, me either before this story. Boy, there is so much I don't know in this world. According to the Awareness Center website, chemsex is a hidden subculture of gay society. It's when people, most commonly gay men, take drugs that enhance sex and make them feel uninhibited. The drugs that are involved are crystal methamphetamine, GHB, and mephedrone. This can be pretty dangerous, as you can imagine. These drugs can act as a mild anesthetic, so could encourage a more harmful and painful experience. A chemsex party would include young men who want to indulge in, and essentially, a private gay club where they can experience connectivity, belonging, and acceptance. But therein lies the danger. It seems to be all-encompassing trust, as if going to one of these parties will automatically mean consent, no matter the state of mind you are in or how high you are from the drugs. Well, on April 1st, 2016, Stefano decided to throw one of these chemsex parties. One man, who was not being identified in the story, and simply goes by CD, was searching for the location of this party. It was being held at the Peabody Estates in London, which is located only a mile or two south of the River Thames in Block E. CD got lost a few times and wasn't able to locate the exact property right away. See, CD was invited to this party by a person who went by the name Domination London on a gay fetish app called Recon. Never heard of that one before. Eventually, CD made it to the right location and buzzed the door. Initially, there was no answer, so he rang it a few more times. Finally, someone answered the buzzer over the intercom and said, "Hello, sorry, we are having kind of a situation here." Apparently, someone was feeling ill, but this person was taking care of it. CD was concerned for this person, so asked if there was anything he could do to help. The voice said that everything was fine, but that the party was canceled, and so CD should leave. On April 7th, 2016, Peabody Estates caretaker noticed a really awful smell coming from Block E somewhere. And so initially they tried to cover it up with some handy-dandy bubblegum scented air spray.
What?
I know. Yeah, bubblegum scented air spray. I actually don't know if I've ever seen bubblegum air spray.
Maybe it's a British thing.
It could possibly be.
But no one learns the lesson of if something is stinky, if you spray air freshener, all you're going to get is a stinky smell with a nice smell
That's
on
right.
top of it.
Exactly.
It doesn't eat up the bad smell.
No. And you're never going to want to have bubblegum ever again.
No, it's a bad plan.
Yeah. So as you can imagine, this scent was hardly enough to cover up any kind of odor, let alone the one that was coming from this particular block. So the residents couldn't take it any longer and decided to contact the local police to come investigate the origin of the smell. What police discovered when they located the cause of the smell was like no massacre they have ever seen before. The smell was overpowering. It was a mixture of cleaning chemicals and rotting flesh. I can't even begin to imagine what that would smell like, and I hope I never do. The voice that CD was hearing that evening 1 week ago was 49-year-old Stefano Brizzi. Further inside the apartment, the police found Stefano sitting there, in only his underwear, with trash bags all around him. Inside of those trash bags is a giant trigger warning. A giant trigger warning for some gruesome details. Very gruesome. They found chunks of flesh, a pelvis bone, a hand, and part of a spine. They went into his bathroom, and there they noticed a blue-green colored liquid in the tub with fat particles floating around. See, what Stefano had tried to do is live out his best Breaking Bad life and wanted to dissolve the body of this poor individual that he had killed.
I have a confession.
What? That is a really bad time to talk about a confession.
I have a confession.
Have you tried to dissolve a body?
No.
Okay, good. All right, continue. What's your confession?
I've never seen Breaking Bad.
What? Okay. That is still just as shocking.
You sound more shocked about that than if it was a dead body.
Breaking Bad was such a great show.
I watched the first episode and I thought it was boring.
I mean, I can understand how that would be because it builds up over time.
I don't have time for that.
Yeah, that's fair.
I need to love something immediately. I have no chill.
You do not have chill. We have discovered
I can't
that.
wait around for it to get better.
That was one of the best shows on TV when it was on. I loved that show. I have not done a rewatch of it. I'd actually like to do that, but yeah.
Wasn't the ending bad or something?
The ending was unexpected.
Or was it good? Oh.
It was unexpected, and I think a lot of people who had expected something else thought it was bad because it wasn't what they had expected. But it felt left open almost. Like it felt open, like it could have been brought back eventually maybe. But anyway, I enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I liked the ending as well. So definitely a good show and highly recommend it. The mixture they saw in the tub was caustic soda and spirit of salt that contained hydrofluoric acid. But apparently Stefano missed the part about having to make sure the chemicals reached the required 300 degrees in order to actually dissolve the body.
He did not do a thorough enough Google search about his cover-ups.
If he watched the show, I don't even know if they mentioned it in the show. I didn't look that up. But even if he watched the show, that probably wouldn't have been enough information that he would need to handle these highly corrosive chemicals. And I think that, I don't think I put this in my story, but if he also watched the show, I'm pretty sure there's a part where they use a bathtub and the acid eats right through the tub.
Oh, God.
So, not a good method of what he used. During the investigation, the police found out that CD had asked Stefano why he hadn't let him in, to which Stefano replied that he had invited a few men to join his party, but that they didn't show up. One did show up, and his name was Gordon Semple, and when CD showed up a few hours later, Stefano was right in the middle of strangling him. Gordon Semple was a 59-year-old man from Inverness, Scotland.
Inverness?
Yeah.
We have an Inverness in Nova Scotia.
We do. It's true. Yeah. Well, Nova Scotia stands for New Scotland, so I think we just stole all of our city names from there. He had moved to Greenhithe, Dartford, and was working as a police officer with the Metropolitan Police for about 30 years. He had been in an open relationship with a man named Gary Meeks for about 25 years. So Gordon finding another guy on Grindr, in this case Stefano, and asking to meet up was not all that bizarre. On April 1st, Gordon had arrived at Stefano's place for a few hours before CD would attempt to join the party as well. Within those few hours, Stefano and Gordon both would send messages to other guys on Grindr and Recon to invite them over for a chemsex party. No one else showed up except for CD a few hours later, but it was too late. I was a little shocked that Gordon Semple would want to have a chemsex party when he was a police officer, but I guess that's not the point of this story.
Don't yuck a yum.
It's not that. It's the fact that you're a police officer and you have an oath to abide by the law. That's the part that I don't get. Anyway, Stefano was arrested and charged with the murder of Gordon Semple. On April 11th, 2016, the case was listed for plea and trial preparation, but had been adjourned until September. The trial date was set anyway for October 18th, 2016. In September, Stefano was adamant that Gordon's death by strangulation was an accident. He said that it was a bondage game that had gone too far. Stefano pleaded not guilty to the murder, but he did plead guilty to obstructing a coroner by attempting to destroy a body. During the trial at the Old Bailey, which is the Central Criminal Court of England and Wales, it was noted that when police had initially arrested him, Stefano had told them, quote, "I killed him last week. I met him on Grindr and I killed him. Satan told me to," end quote. During the search of his apartment, they had discovered a copy of the Satanic Bible located on his computer. Along with that, there was a notebook that contained handwritten letters that were addressed to the devil. When they had asked him about his psychology appointments and going to Crystal Meth Anonymous, Stefano said, quote, "The problem with that is the psychologist says crystal meth causes psychosis. I was raised Catholic, being gay was evil and the devil, so I've been into Satan," end quote. It was discovered during the investigation that on April 5th, 4 days after the murder of Gordon Semple, that Stefano walked over to the Leyland Specialist Decorators Merchants store, which was located on Southwark Street, to purchase some equipment to assist in whatever it was he was trying to do in his apartment. The items were a 3-in-1 saw set, metal sheets, plastic buckets, and bottles of acid and cleaning products.
There should be some kind of a thing where if you buy a bunch of murder accessories in one purchase,
exactly,
that it gets flagged.
You would think, yeah, it should be investigated. I agree completely.
Yeah, even if you buy like 2 things together, like if you bought a saw and some acid, you should at least have to like leave your phone number.
Yeah, exactly.
Or something.
Yeah, I feel like it should be required to purchase anything like that in the first place, especially acid. Jeez, who can just buy over-the-counter acid? Stefano was caught on CCTV cameras actually placing one of these buckets over his head in the store. One can only assume that he was measuring it to ensure it was big enough to put a human's head in it.
Wow, that's morbid.
We have pictures of that, so we'll put those on the Instagram for you. Stefano admitted in court that he was inspired by the show Breaking Bad to try to dissolve Gordon's body in acid. It would also be in court that we would discover the many ways that Stefano had tried to dispose of the body. Another trigger warning for disturbing and gruesome details. He tried to grate Gordon's flesh from his bones before eating some with chopsticks.
Wait, he tried to grate it with like a food grater?
Yes.
Okay, that would take a million years. If I want to grate a block of cheese, it takes way too long.
Right? It takes forever. But I feel
to do
like
a whole body?
I think that he wanted to... Well, he ate it, so I think that he wanted to see what it tasted like.
That's pretty gross.
Yeah. When investigators had gone through his apartment, they tested his oven and did find traces of Gordon's DNA in there. It was also found on the chopsticks, on a chopping board, and inside a cooking pot. One of Gordon's ribs even had a bite mark on it that they found in the trash. Not long after the murder, a civilian found one of Gordon's feet that had washed up on the south side of the Thames. On November 13th, Stefano was convicted of both the murder as well as obstructing the coroner. He was sentenced to life in prison. It wasn't long after this conviction that Stephen Port, a serial killer who lured men through the dating app Grindr, would be sentenced to life and ordered to serve at least 24 years in prison. The media would post stories to scare the public into thinking that dating apps were dangerous. But it's not the apps that you need to worry about. It's the people on the other end of the phone. The app isn't making people commit crimes. The people are. And they are just using the apps as a means to an end. The intention is there whether the apps work or not. On February 5th, 2017, the prison service where Stefano was held issued a statement that said, quote, HMP Belmarsh prisoner Stefano Brizzi, date of birth 26/06/66, died in custody on Sunday, 5th of February. As with all deaths in custody, there will be an independent investigation by the Prisons and Probation Ombudsman, end quote. After the investigation was completed, it was found that Stefano Brizzi had hung himself in prison. He had only been in jail for 2 months. Apparently, he had been taken off the suicide watch a month before this. Stefano had left a will, as well as some letters addressed to his family and friends, which were on his bed. One letter included the phrase, "I die in peace." After all of this, Gordon Semple's brother, Ronnie, and his partner, Gary Meeks, released a joint statement to the media that said, quote, "A much-loved partner, brother, brother-in-law, uncle, and cousin. Our world will be a worse place without him," end quote. And that is the story of Stefano Brizzi and Gordon Semple, which is very sad.
That was wild. And dating apps are kind of terrifying sometimes.
Well, that's the thing, right? Like, I think that part of the reason why I am so hesitant not only is because of all the danger that there is behind it, but also, like, just don't know who people are, even though they say things about themselves. Like, on the one that I'm a part of, it has prompts, and you can write quotes that you like, or you can say, you know, how big of a geek you are, or what you like to do, and how adventurous you are, and stuff like that. Like, it just, you can kind of say whatever you want to kind of get the point across, just
right,
about who you are. But who is saying what type of person they are in hopes to find somebody who is the same type of person who isn't actually that type of person? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Well, that's the thing, though, is that you can talk online, and then eventually you go to meet each other, and you never agree to meet them in like a dark place alone at night.
No,
you make it a public place for all of your first few meetings, and then make it like a group thing.
Yeah.
Like, oh, my friend is having a party. Please attend this party, so they can all judge you to see if you're a serial killer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
So I feel like they're safe. I feel like it's sketchy if you go to a weird sex party
for sure
the first time without meeting somebody.
That's the thing. That's one thing that I don't understand. Like, I understand that there are sections of some dating apps that you can actually say that you're looking for friends with benefits, or you're looking for just hooking up, or whatever the case may be. Apparently there's a whole other world of, you know, the BDSM world, which kudos to all of you who are into that. But that's something that you can find people online to get into. And I just think that that is super scary, because you just don't know who these people are and what they're capable of, and, you know, all that stuff. Even the stuff that I am into on a dating app is just kind of seeing, you know, what they're into, to see if it will mesh with what I'm into, and like just going for hikes, or, you know, going to a lake somewhere and hanging out, or whatever the case may be, and just trying to find that kind of compatibility. Like, compatibility in activities is different than compatibility in your chemistry as humans. But you won't know that until you meet them, right? So you can talk all you want online, and that's the thing. So for me, I have been on the dating app for probably 2 months. I had paused it for a while until Nikki made me unpause it. Nikki unpaused it for me. She actually clicked the button.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. But ever since then, I've been kind of looking at it in a different way. I'm more having fun with it than anything else. I'm not like looking at it seriously. And there was a couple of guys that I was talking to for a while there, and, you know, you kind of go radio silent after a while if you're not really into it, or you're not interested.
Yeah, you just ghost them.
Yeah, there's that, or there's just, you know, trying to move them along. And one guy, he wrote me, and he kind of mentioned that he was having issues at home, and he wanted to take a step back, and he didn't want me to think that he was ghosting me. So he was taking a step back, and I was like, geez, like, good luck to you for all you have, you know, all of the things that you want to do with your life, and just kind of focus on you. Take care. And I mean, you definitely didn't have to tell me anything. You could have just ghosted me anyway, but it's very sweet that you didn't. And, you know, I appreciated that. So I just kind of said, take care of yourself, and, you know, hope things are going to go well for you. So, I mean, other than that, it's just kind of been like talking here and there, but nothing is escalating. Nothing is moving forward. And I think that's me. I definitely think that's me. I have a block where I just like can't push things any further. It's pushing myself outside of my comfort zone, and I know that. So I think that I just need, like, I don't know, I need to just do it, or just push through, and you know, Nikki, whatever
I'm not even saying
I know, whatever I need to do to push through and just kind of like make it happen, get out of my comfort zone, and start dating in person. I still don't like COVID, but
we're pretty good in Nova Scotia right now.
It's true. We really are. Yes.
That doesn't mean move here. Nobody move here.
No,
Don't
no.
buy any more houses here. Everyone get out of our province.
That's right.
You're not from here.
Exactly.
Do not buy a house.
I still haven't been able to find a place to live. I've been trying to look for a new apartment or a new place to live since May, and it's September now. I still have found nothing yet, and I'm like, drive me crazy. This province, the housing crisis in this province is beyond anything that I've ever experienced before. That's your apparent palate cleanser.
Yeah.
Not really, but...
And Megan will update us when she goes on a date
That's
from her
right.
dating app.
Yes, we'll see how that goes for sure.
So if you'd like to date Megan, please look her up on... I won't say it in case you don't want me to. I know what app it is.
Yeah, no, we'll just leave that one alone. It's all good.
It's great. It'd be like a personal ad to like hundreds, possibly thousands of people.
I don't want to have an ad for myself to date.
You can do it like an elevator pitch, like when you're trying to pitch a new marketing
Yes.
idea or a new business or something. No?
I don't even know.
No.
Yeah, we'll just throw it up on a billboard. How about that?
I mean, if you got the money, go for it.
Oh my gosh, that's too funny. No thanks. But thank you anyway. Whatever's meant to be will be.
Okay, I'm rolling.
All right, let's see what you get.
Okay, I got an 8.
All right.
Another poor roll.
It's,
Because of all the stories we've been doing lately, I added a new theme and I ended up getting it.
Did you really?
So this is exciting.
What'd you get?
Yes.
What is it?
I got, why are we posting our crimes on social media?
I love it so much. That's actually
I'm really happy
because we've talked about so many
stories
recently about all of the
we get a list going of where you post your crimes.
It's true.
Yeah. Now I gotta find like a good one. I gotta find one where they post their crimes on an app that we haven't mentioned yet. That'll be my personal goal.
Yes. I feel like we haven't touched on TikTok. We did Twitter. We did Facebook. LinkedIn.
And LinkedIn. We did not do Instagram.
Not Instagram, not TikTok. And I don't know other one. Tumblr, I guess, used to be one. I don't know if it still exists.
Yeah.
I never did Tumblr.
I'll do some research on the old social meds.
Excellent. I am very excited. That category is amazing. That kind of came up naturally after all the stories we've had to do about crimes on social media.
If you want to check us out on our really awesome social media, you can find us at The Grimdark Diaries on Instagram and Facebook and Grimdark Diaries on Twitter.
We will not be posting our crimes there.
No, we're not doing crimes, Megan. That's the right sentence to say.
Yes, that's right. That's what I mean. We're posting crimes that other people have done on those social media.
If you want to contact us, you can send us an email, and we are thegrimdarkdiaries@gmail.com. If you listen on Apple Podcast, if you can give us a 5-star rating and a comment, it would be mucho appreciated. And on any other podcast app you listen to us, if you can follow or subscribe or whatever it is that it does, that would also be appreciated. Make sure you tune in next week to see what I come up with for Why Are We Posting Our Crimes on Social Media? And remember, a friend in the dark beats alone in the light.